Hello, welcome to the Redmen TV. It's the Uncensored Match Build Up show ahead of Liverpool's trip down to Stoke City. Chris, Stoke obviously not the rugby club that they once were, no. But still not one to be underestimated.
No, I thought they were really good when they came to Anfield early on in the season. It was first game of the season, wasn't it? And I think Mark Hughes has done a really good job with them actually. I think he's completely changed the style of play. The fans have obviously got behind it. I think they've been good this season, to be honest with you.
What have you seen of Stoke this season, Jay? What do you think?
Apart from the game at Anfield on the opening day, which I did think was a little bit of a change to the style. Obviously they've done alright, haven't they? Beating Chelsea not so long ago, and they nearly beat Everton on New Year's Day. So, I mean, they are trying to change a little bit the style, but you've still got to look at it, and they've still got the Shaw Crosses and the Hoots and the Wilsons and the Glenn Whelans, Charlie Adams, Peter Crouch, you know, they're all the dogs
basically just named an entire first 11 there.
So, Enzonzi's another one, forgot about him. So, they've still got that presence about them, if you like, but they are trying to play a little bit of football. Whether or not they've completely changed, I don't know really. I think the Britannia is still a very difficult place to go, and Liverpool have never won there in the Premier League, have they? So, I mean, we won the League Cup, didn't we? Suarez scored 2 a couple of years back, but in the actual league games, we always seem to struggle there.
It's a fearmonger tonight, isn't it, Jay?
Fucking hell, Jay, come on. That's no, you're right. That is a dynamite piece of research. That if I'd read my research, I'd have probably known that fact too. Good work. This is why we like people who prepare on this show.
Research, that's just knowledge buried in the back there. Just knows it, like.
No, you're right. It is. I mean, so historically, Stoke, we have a tough time playing against Stoke. Do you fear them less now that Mark Hughes is manager, or do you think they should be feared just as much?
A little bit, maybe less, but I still think it will be awkward. You know, I think we need to go there with the right attitude and go toe to toe with them really. But I think it's a game it's a type of game now that we should really go out intending on winning.
Yeah.
I think if we're going to have any hope of getting into the top 4, this is the time for games we need to win at least most of them.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a case there, isn't there, Chris? What Torp says there. I think we're in the past, if we've tried to go toe to toe physically with Stoke, there'd be absolutely no chance and we get steamrolled. Whereas the hope is, if Mark Hughes is trying to get them to play a little bit more expansively, if that's to the detriment of the physical side of their game, then that will work to our advantage, because we won't necessarily need to be as physical, and if there might be a little bit more football play, then you'd hope that we've got the better footballing players and we'll win on that front.
I definitely agree with that, but I also think that we'll have a little bit more respect from Mark Hughes and Stoke going into the second half of the season. Now, we're obviously a club that's doing well in the league, and I think Mark Hughes might look at it and go, let's try and get a point against these because they're a good side now. Whereas I think opening day of the season, he thought, don't really know where Liverpool are. They had a really slow start last season. Let's have a go at them and see where we go. And to be honest with you, we were lucky to get away with a victory in that game, weren't we?
Very, yeah.
They'll be gunning for us for that, I think, because obviously it was not the penalty save first game of the season. So I think they'll be a little bit of bad blood there, and I think they'll want to win or get a point. But I do think we've got to go out and play our football. I think we proved that against Tottenham.
Yeah,
they're away from home. We should be going out and playing football now, because that's what we're good at. We're not good at sitting back and soaking up pressure. We're good at playing our own game, and this is one of those games where we should play.
I don't think we're that bad at doing that. I just think that because we're prone to doing stupid things in defence, that it sort of makes sense for us to go and try and score as many goals as possible, so that when we do inevitably fuck something up from a set piece, you know, the impact is less. Yeah, completely. Interesting, because after what Jay said there about the Britannia, actually a very difficult place to go in recent games. I've only got the form guide. They're actually 6th in the form table based on home form, Stoke at the minute, which is pretty good for the side that's only 12th in the Premier League, and they're unbeaten in the last 6 as well. So yeah, doesn't bode massively well, but let's gloss over that. The big question that everyone at home wants to have answered, though, is
is
no.
Asaidi.
No, we know where he is. That was last year's question. He's been found alive and well, scoring goals. The question is, Jay, would you recall, if it was possible, would you recall Usama Asaidi?
I'm not sure. I mean, it's the same old chestnut, isn't it, that we've already spoken about earlier, about games of football, and would he really get his game for Liverpool? Whereas he's looking well playing for Stoke. He's getting his game under Mark Hughes. He's flourishing there. So, obviously, the game time's massive for confidence with players, and he's obviously getting it at Stoke, but he wouldn't get it at Liverpool, and that's the simple fact.
Question for you then, Jay: would he be ahead of, on his form at the moment? Would he be ahead of Moses?
Well, quite possibly, but Moses is on the bench anyway, isn't he? I mean, when Coutinho, Suarez, Sturridge and all them are back, let's be honest, Sterling's probably would be ahead of...
Yeah, he'd be sitting a row further forward on the bench, basically.
I don't think we should bring Asaidi back for the simple reason he's scoring against our biggest rivals.
That's a dynamite point.
Yeah. Just let him carry on doing that, please.
I mean, what's your thoughts on him? Because he was a non-entity at Liverpool. He might as well have not been there. Rodgers didn't fancy him at all. He's clearly shown that he's got ability. I mean, is that a case of he's proven himself? I mean, I think he said he wants to come back to the club, but for you, is it just he's just putting himself in the shop window? Or?
It's very difficult, really. I think, as you said, I don't think Rodgers had much confidence in him. I know it was against West Bromwich reserves, but he had one game there when he looked absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And other than that, he didn't really get much of a chance.
To
be honest.
Yeah.
But I agree with Jay. I still wouldn't have put him in Liverpool's first 11. But maybe as a backup, I think he scored 3 league goals, and if he had been at Liverpool, there's only 2 players who scored more than 3 league goals, I think, at Liverpool. So. But I think I probably would have him, before Moses, to be honest. But
I think that's the annoyance, isn't it? When you look at our attacking options, and there's talk that we're meant to be buying Salah or whatever. We're looking to strengthen. You've got Moses there who's not performing, and then you look at Asaidi and he's scoring goals for Stoke.
Yeah.
The problem is though, it's not like he's scoring loads of goals for Stoke. He's not being amazing there. He's just scored a few well.
And look, I totally agree. I was playing devil's advocate, I agree with your point totally. I don't think
you fucking turncoat.
No. It was a simple question. I asked, would you put him ahead of Moses?
It's like Alan Partridge. It's like, I hate wine, don't like wine. Can I just shock you? I actually like wine. Yeah, there we go.
Well, I don't think that Asaidi's doing himself any harm there, and I don't think we should recall him. I think he's getting confidence. He's getting game time. Now, at Liverpool this season, I don't think he would be. Next season, there might be a possibility where he does get a little bit of game time. Hopefully, we'll have European football, and we'll be able to give him some minutes on the pitch.
That's actually a very good point. It's one I'd not considered. That, I mean, if we're back in European competition, as Chris says, there you're effectively, you're adding an extra, dependent upon success.
If you're in the Europa League, you've got an extra 90 games. 100 that season, right? If you're in the Champions League, we've probably got 6.
Not getting off the group.
Probably not, because we won't be that high up. We won't be seeded anymore, will we?
No.
We'll be getting the 4th seed or something.
Well, what if we win the league? But no, but the point is, and that's an interesting one, because it's what Chelsea have said actually, isn't it, with the likes of Lukaku and the likes of and Moses to a certain extent, they're loaning these players out because they can't develop them at the club. So they're letting them develop elsewhere, so they're ready to go into the first team when they need them. That's supposedly the idea, and I kind of like that idea that he'd be nowhere near our first team now. But when you're playing, look, we won't have to take the domestic cups as seriously next season if we're in the Champions League. So you can afford to play players like that, and you need to play players like that to allow your genuine class players to have a little bit of a rest. So no, I actually quite like that notion. Look, there's loads of Asaidi fans who watch the show, loads, a terrifying amount, based on no performances to back it up whatsoever. Let us know your thoughts on Usama Asaidi. Leave it in the comments below. is it just a case of he's just getting his transfer value up by scoring a few goals, which is good for Liverpool, or do you think he's basically playing his way back into Brendan Rodgers' long-term Liverpool plans? Let me know in the comments. I don't think the
fans watch anymore. I think they've joined the Stoke Redmen TV. They've turned. They don't like Liverpool anymore. TV, like. They just follow Saidi around.
Yeah. Right, Stoke City trivia question time.
Oh, just what I was looking for.
Dave's not here this week, so we can't rip. No, he still wrote it. We just can't rip him for his writing. At least not to his face, anyway. Okay, question. How many former and current Liverpool players, clever, are in the Stoke City squad? Name them, and how many league appearances and goals have they between them for us? Fuck me. That is a belter of a trivia. Yeah,
it's like what he does. He must don't worry. Google questions and then put 4 of them together for you. Like, go ahead, work that out, lads.
Don't worry, I will read that again. How many former and current Liverpool players are in the Stoke City squad? Yeah, name them. And then, as an added bonus, because why not? How many league appearances and how many league goals have they made between them for Liverpool?
Fucking easy, I don't know.
Wikipedia.
The only one questions that can answer himself, can he?
Basically,
nobody else can answer.
Does anyone need any more clarification on that?
I mean, yes, but we don't have time.
Tough tits. Right, we'll come back to the trivia answer at the end of the show, so obviously stay tuned for that. Okay.
They're all on the edge of the seats, Paul.
Chris, Brendan Rodgers said this week that we need to use more than 11 or 12 players, once again calling upon the fringe players there. Based on, well, obviously we discussed the Oldham game in depth on the Final Word show earlier, but just to sort of recap some of the points, do you think any of the fringe players have played their way back into contention this week?
I think Martin Kelly, as we discussed on the last show, is probably it for me.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it, yeah. Brad Jones.
Brad Jones.
But I'd never ever put him in instead of Mignolet.
No, actually we never even discussed Brad Jones. I actually thought he was alright.
He had a good game.
He made some good saves, didn't he?
He did indeed. What about you, Jay? Is there anyone there? I mean, the obvious ones: Moses Aspas, Alberto.
I agree with Chris. Martin Kelly done quite well, and if Glenn Johnson is injured, then he should be able to come into the sides. Martin Kelly should be okay. Other than that, Kolo Touré potentially might have to play as well, because Aga got a knock, didn't he? Skate will come back in, but I'm not too sure whether Saka will be back, so Kolo Touré might have to play, which concerns me a little bit, because last time Kolo Touré and Skate played together, we lost 3-1 at Hall, and
They're just neither of them are the left centre back, are they?
No,
they both play right centre back.
I think I'm starting to notice something, Jay, that I think you remember the bad times a bit more clearly than I do. I think that's what it is. Maybe I just live in my own little joy red tinted world. I forget about all these things, but fuck yeah, completely forgotten about that. Yeah, absolute liability. The last thing we want to see is Colo and Captain Madface at the back. So what do you reckon there? I mean, as I say, we have discussed it at length, but do you think there's anyone there who's even?
I don't know. Do you call Alice Sissoko a fringe player? I think he might, a bit more in the picture now. As a left back.
Big fucking grin from Ollie behind the camera there, who called that a month ago and got
I'll tell you that other fringe player who could get a game, Steven Gerrard. Because he's playing himself back into contention.
Fringe player, squad player, Steven Gerrard. Yeah, he did. I think he's done enough to maybe earn his place in the team. Although it depends if Joe Allen's fit or not.
Not the first half, Steven Gerrard. The second half, Steven Gerrard. He can get in the side.
Yeah.
So hopefully there should be 2 or 3 players coming back the next couple of weeks as well. Yeah. Which.
It's a big question for you then. So if Joe Allen is fit, would you play him instead of Steven Gerrard?
I would play both.
Who you dropping?
I would drop out Lucas.
You drop Lucas?
To be honest.
Interesting. So would you play Allen as the defensive midfield?
I would, yeah. I mean, you can even play Anderson, I think. I wouldn't play Steven Gerrard as a holding midfielder. But,
that's a very interesting shout, that actually. What about you, Jay?
He's played it before, hasn't he? Joe Allen.
He looked great there last season at the beginning.
He has played it before. It's a strange one with Lucas, isn't it? Because he was really good the back end of one season, then the start of another season, then he got that really bad injury, didn't he, at Chelsea, and he was out for effectively a year. and since he's come back, he just hasn't been the same player at all, has he?
I think the last sort of 6 weeks, I think he's really looked like the old Lucas.
You think?
Yeah, I think so. You know, it's one of those jobs, isn't it, where he's never going to get the plaudits. But when you're at the match and you see him and his work rate, and when he starts covering sideline to sideline, so that was the worry for me at the start of the season. He needed Gerrard with him because he wasn't getting across.
I think the problem with Lucas is what we need to see, what everyone needs to see from him, is him just make one incredible sliding last-ditch tackle and win the ball back. Well, that's the problem, isn't it?
He intercepts. You know what I mean? That's what he does.
I think with the Lucas thing, since the formation change, or the formation modification, which happened around Spurs, when we finally saw Rodgers' system that he'd been discussing, where Lucas basically plays as an auxiliary centre half, doesn't he? When we're in possession, I think Lucas has looked really good, and he finally made sense in a Rodgers context to me. Like, but I do agree that it's not. It doesn't look as
he's not mobile enough.
Yeah, I think it depends on the opposition as well. Yeah. I think if you play Gerrard and Lucas together against the top teams.
We got blown apart.
He seemed a bit laboured, like, you know. I think Allen maybe. I think about Manchester City. I think he thought he played really well. You know, was really sharp into the tackles. You know, harrying the opposition. So I think it in some respect, I think he does that better than Lucas. Lucas is, you know, sort of clever. You know, holds his position. But if it's really the team is really stretched. Yeah, I feel he doesn't really have the energy and the pace.
I think you make a good point in that if we want to go for it, it kind of makes sense. Do we need Lucas in the side if we're going to be on the front foot? My worry is that Joe Allen isn't defensive minded enough that if it all goes wrong, you don't want him as the last line of defence between, especially against Stoke and the powerhouses that you know. Do you want Walters running it in full tilt, like, you know what I mean? He just bounce off him.
Yeah, but then equally though, Paul, I don't think Lucas has ever covered himself in glory against target men. When they get in between him and the centre back, Lucas never really does it for me either. When, you know, he's going for a header, got the defender, then the striker, then Lucas, he never does anything then.
Yeah. Well, as they found a member of the Lucas Labour fan club, I think he's going to fuck off. I think it's good. No, I think it's interesting. It's not something generally not something I considered. Let us know if you're watching. Let us know what you think Liverpool's midfield three should be. If everyone's available, is this a game? Do you need Lucas Leiva? Do you need Steven Gerrard? Let me know your thoughts on that. Okay, then past that, we've obviously had some injury issues, but it looks potentially like Sturridge might be available. Good.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, a question I've just posed on Twitter earlier this week is who gets dropped for Daniel Sturridge?
At the moment, Coutinho maybe. I wouldn't drop Sterling. I think Sterling's been head and shoulders above Coutinho the last few weeks.
Does it mean? I mean, do we change the formation?
I hope we don't.
Do we change the formation back? Like,
I don't. I really hope we don't. I think we're just starting to see what Rodgers has been talking about for 2 years with that formation now, and I don't think we should start Sturridge, to be honest. I don't think he's not going to be fully fit. So I think it's stupid to throw him in now and give him 90 minutes. I think. You know, let's see what he can do. He's seen as an impact player. He's a good substitute. He came on, didn't he, last Everton, scored a goal then. So he's good in that role, and I think that's a good option to have. Maybe getting 30 minutes at the weekend if he's fit. Yeah, sound.
Yeah, definitely.
But when he is fit properly, I really don't want us to go back three at the back.
It's going to be a big question, really, for next week, really, that isn't it, Jay, about how Daniel Sturridge does slot into that side. Is this what we talked about do we go to a squad rotation policy because we finally got the ability to do it, or do you do what we've done up until that point and try and shoehorn as many of your best players into the side as possible?
Well, I think because we've been doing quite well, apart from the two games that we lost against City and Chelsea, I mean, we performed quite well, didn't we, especially at Man City. The system was working as it was, so I don't think the luxury is, because Sturridge is just coming back from, like, you know, it's 6-7 weeks, isn't it, it's going to be. I think you might find he'll be on the bench for the first couple of games anyway, because there's no real need to change the shape of the team.
Yeah.
I think obviously long term it'll be interesting to see what happens, because Sturridge is, you know, first 11 player, isn't he? But I think the first couple of games back he probably will be on the bench.
Excellent. Yeah, definitely one we'll have to pose. I think in the coming weeks, certainly.
Also, give me a couple of weeks to think of an answer.
I know. Well, it's a tough one.
I just must have been thinking about it for 6 weeks now, how to get Sturridge back into the side.
I mean, we were performing very well with Suarez and Sturridge up front. They were looking like the best strike partnership in world football. But now you're starting to think, like, Sterling's actually starting to fit in, on the right hand side. If you change formation, you're basically going to ruin him again.
It's a tricky one, isn't it? And I think the thing is that if you have Sturridge, Suarez and Coutinho in the same team, it's hardly any system that you can fit all the three in their best positions. Yeah. We have sort of sacrifice sort of one of them regarding the positions.
But Suarez is the one that can seem to play anywhere. He's the one that, he's been fantastic up front, but Sturridge can only play up front.
He's scored 20 goals in 15 games.
He
has to play him up front.
You have to. Yeah. It's mental. Like.
And do you end up with Daniel Sturridge playing out on the right?
It's like Chelsea.
But
you're pissing Sturridge
off. I think probably it'd be Coutinho who is kind of sort of sacrificed and have to play wide and
Coutinho, back end of last season, Coutinho seemed to have this just great understanding with where Sturridge was going to be. Sturridge played better with Coutinho than with anyone else.
I think the good thing about it is that Coutinho does need to be taken out of the firing line. He does need to be rotated a bit more. We need to remember both he and Sterling are both very young players. We don't want them playing week in, week out anyway. So it actually might give us the opportunity, shock horror, to be able to actually take one of our best players out and bring a player of equal quality.
We used to do that rotating thing, didn't we, back in the day? It was a few years ago now.
Oh God, yeah, remember it. Remember that.
But usually when he plays Suarez and Sturridge to top, he puts Henderson on the right, doesn't he? He kind of balances it a bit. Then you have the problem with Sterling again, but I think
good problem.
If he play those two up front, I think he probably play Henderson on the right and then two central midfielders.
Yeah, most definitely. Okay, then we're going to have some score predictions. Then we're going to give you the thing you've all been waiting for, which is, of course, the trivia answer. Jay, how do you think this game's going to go down?
I think it's going to be a tough game because, as I touched on before, it's a place where we haven't won. So I know they've changed the style a little bit, but they've still got the same players.
Sounds like it.
Still got the same players, haven't they? So I'm going to go for a 5-0 win. I mean,
no, that was it.
I honestly, I think it's a game where, realistically, if we genuinely want to get in the top 4, we've got to be going to places like Stoke and winning.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying about they beat. Man City went there, they drew. Everton drew. Chelsea lost there. But Man United, which is a very average Man United team, went there and won in the cup, didn't he? Yeah. So I know it's a cup game, but let's be honest. If Man United go in there and winning, then it's the type of game where Liverpool have got to be able to go there and win. And when you've got Luis Suarez in your team, you can beat any team, can't you? Yeah. So I'll say a 2-1 Liverpool win.
Excellent. Okay. So what do you think the score is going to be?
Yeah, well, that was I was going to say, but.
It's alright, you can still say it if you want.
We can agree.
Yeah, I'll probably go for 2-1. I think Suarez, I think, has mainly done well against Stoke, even though we haven't won there. He scored a few goals there, I think.
Yeah.
So I think it's a kind of game that it's important to get the first goal, I think. If we get, if they score the first goal and, can... stay back and
frustrate us.
Long balls. I know that they play a bit different now, but they still, as I said, there's quite a few 6-footers there still.
It's in their DNA, that isn't it? It's not something that's going to change overnight.
I think it's important, but I hope we just don't sit back.
Yeah,
try to take the game to them, and I think we have a good chance, but it's an awkward one.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Chris?
I think we're going to win 1-0.
Ooh.
Scary.
Excellent. I like that. Not really. Not as much as I like the original 5-0 shout.
Yeah, that would be much better.
Nobody's backing us at 5-0 there. You know what? There's been so
happy to do the double over Stoke, actually.
Tell me about it. I think
when was the last time we did that?
Not in Premier League, anyway.
Christ.
There you go.
Yeah, 1-0. No, I'm happy. I'll happy have a nice another 2-0 Nice sound 2-0.
3 on the bounce.
Yeah, because it doesn't happen, does it?
Doesn't happen.
Doesn't think they give a
107
clean
or
sheet
8
against them though, you know, with the tall targets they've got and the set pieces and stuff.
At the risk of setting myself up for some famous last words, I think we're better equipped this season to deal with that, and I think just having Colo Touré in, he seems to handle that a lot better than I've seen the likes of Daniel Agger handle it, for example. So I'd hope so.
2-0 up with Suarez, and then Sokor score with a header at the corner in the 2 minutes, 92nd minute.
Well, we can, and we'll all be dead pissed off because we've given up another clean sheet. Right, okay, let me know your score predictions in the comment section, as well as how you think Liverpool are going to line up.
Shove your answer as well.
Don't worry.
Just checking. Dying to know.
Yeah, all this in the comment section. Right, trivia answer time. Question one more time for those of you who literally could not wrap their head around this belter. How many former and current Liverpool player, I think he's referring to Assaidi.
Is he?
How many former and current Liverpool players are in the Stoke City squad? Name them. And how many league appearances and goals have they between them for us? For me. Right, okay. Anyone want to throw some answers?
4, is it?
I can think of 4, yes. But,
Do you want to throw some names out?
Well, I think Pennant's still there. Crouchy,
Charlie
Adam, and Assaidi.
And?
Diego's not there no more, is he? Jow.
Say the names again?
Pennant?
Yeah.
Charlie Adam?
Yeah.
Assaidi?
Yeah.
Peter Crouch?
Yeah. Correct.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's fair play.
How many appearances?
And
274 appearances. That would be around about 260 too many. And how many goals?
Go on, throw a number out there.
Pennant didn't score many.
38.
31.
Ooh, close, Jake. Total goals between them for Liverpool.
Is it league goals or in general?
But sorry, no league goals. Go on, Tay, what was that shout? 27 Liverpool goals.
Really, yeah. And how many appearances?
Jermaine Pennant, Charlie Adam, Peter Crouch and Usama Assaidi have made a grand total of 172 Liverpool appearances between them. Crouch with the lion's share of that with 85 and 27 goals in total. Crouch with the lion's share of that with 22 of them.
Yeah, you would have thought there'd be more with Crouch, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Peter Crouch scored 22 and 85 league games for Liverpool. Pennant scored just 3 and 55.
It doesn't surprise me.
And the Chad scored 2 in 28 Liverpool.
Is that all he scored for us, too?
3 and 55.
One pen, I think.
Yeah. And lucky, and Assaidi, of course, scored no league goals for Liverpool. Get him back. Anyway, thanks very much for watching the Uncensored Match Build Up show. This week on the RedmenTV.com, we've got a transfer window special. It's that special. It's Jazz and special, like. No. But it is. It's an extended version of the show. We're going to discuss the January transfer window in far greater detail. What positions Liverpool need, who we need to be approaching, who's surplus to requirements, yada yada yada. And we're also going to be looking a little bit around the Premier League as well. So do tune in for that. It's on the RedmenTV.com, which is completely free for a month. Then it's just £2 a month after, Chris.
Lost more running for the bus.
You have indeed. So do check it out, because what the fuck else are you going to do? Anyway, thanks very much for watching this show. We'll see you over on the website. Ta-ra.